And that is until first year of university when I read this book called The Richest Man in Babylon. I'd have one earbud in my downtime at work listening to The Richest Man in Babylon, and I remember my mind slowly being blown, and it completely shifted my mindset towards how money even works, and it really acted as the catalyst, the game changer that shifted the trajectory of my financial reality and helped me end up where I am today. So I want to share with you guys some of the key takeaways that I learned from The Richest Man in Babylon so that hopefully by the end of this year, you will have more money in your bank account and your financial future will end up looking a lot more optimistic. So the only way that you're going to work your way out of financial misery is if you stop falling for the biggest money mistake. What is the biggest money mistake? Well, it's not this cute little thing. It's not this little mistake that,
Hi, and welcome to episode 9 of FinCrime Unfiltered. I'm Sarah Beth Felix. Thanks for joining us again. And like I've said the last couple episodes, I keep getting really nice and encouraging notes, so please keep it coming. For every one nice note, I get, probably a grumpy note as well that does not agree with some of my takes on things. So I definitely appreciate the encouraging stuff, and also the stuff that keeps challenging me. I'm definitely open to that. But I wanted to say I've received, I think, about 15 requests over the last week and a half.
Fulfillment. This was a hard-fought battle. We're talking 12 years of service full of pressure, deadlines, shipping concerns, and being a cog in the wheel of Big Blue. But competitors took notice, and soon Tim was offered an opportunity to fix even more problems at another company called Intelligent Electronics. They were in need of his expertise, and of course, Tim rose to the challenge and succeeded, quickly being promoted to COO, Chief Operating Officer. His success bred more success, and soon he found himself entering an executive position at Compaq. Yes, that Compaq.
With the Easy Access button on the Compaq Presario, we're changing the way you get on the internet. The Compaq Presario 4800 series with Intel Pentium 2 processor.
This was a major break for Tim. He had just reached an incredible level of success.
Great to meet you. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
So before we dive in, I'd love to tell you my goal here.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you about valuation or AI talent wars or fundraising
Thank
or
you.
anything like that. I think that's all very well covered elsewhere.
It does seem like it.
Our big goal on this show is to cover how we can use science and tech to make the future better. And the reason that we do all of that is because we really believe that if people see those better futures, they can then help build them. So my goal here is to try my best to time travel with you into different moments in the future that you're trying to build and see what it looks like.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Starting with what you just announced. You recently said, surprisingly recently, that GPT-4 was the dumbest model any of us will ever have to use again. But GPT-4 can already perform better than 90% of humans at the SAT and the LSAT and the GRE, and it can pass coding exams and sommelier.
Mathematical trick to turn all that sort of mortgage hamburger into AAA rated securities. So you'd have like a junk rated mortgage, like the riskiest loan in existence, something that was so toxic that companies like Countrywide wouldn't want to hold on to it for more than a week because they were afraid the stuff would blow up, and then they would sell it off to like a pension fund or an insurance company in the form of a AAA rated security, which is as safe as a U.S. Treasury bond. So it was a scam. Again, the metaphor of baby powder, taking baby powder and selling it as Coke or whatever. That's exactly what it was. They just took worthless shit and sold it as something that was gold. And they did it for years and years and years and years, and they.
You must have driven your professors crazy.
Oh my God!
An engineer in medical school. I mean, that doesn't happen.
Well, it was really interesting because some of what you go through in medical school, some of the basic science stuff, isn't just what you think of as learning about molecules and things like that in cells. But there's actually some concepts, especially in cardiology, where there are basic engineering concepts, fluid dynamics and things like that.
Yeah.
How does the blood flow? What creates pressure? How do your lungs work and all that? And I would frequently get these raised eyebrows when, I would make a comment about, well, that's not really, laminar flow. It's really non-Newtonian flow. And so that's, not exactly the way, why are you bothering me with these things? But, it all led to where I eventually ended up with this, love of technology, appreciation for technology, how computers were really going to change. And my timing.
Hinge where the screen was previously exposed. So the top visual showcases the hinge the way it originally was. And it's kind of open to the back end, open to the metallic components. And many of the reviewers who had issues with the Galaxy Fold, this is precisely where they think the problem occurred, through the intrusion of some kind of particle. There was the talk, in fact, in the Verge's case, of maybe like a little piece of modeling clay getting in there, or some other fragment, maybe some dust, sand, something like this, which eventually led to a bulge in the display and then a malfunctioning of the display. So that particular area, which used to be open, now has what looks like some sort of rubberized plug permanently in that location, bridging the gap between the opening in the hinge. And it looks to be of a different material than the plastic surrounding the camera. It looks to be its own exclusive material. Just based on the image, I would guess it's kind of soft, rubberized. And does it...
I'm Jack Resider. This is Darknet Diaries. I recently read the book, Sandworm. It just came out. It's so good. So good that I wanted to have the author come on the show.
Yeah, I'm Andy Greenberg, and I'm a senior writer for Wired magazine, and I'm the author of this book, Sandworm.
A few years back, Wired asked Andy to investigate whether or not there's been a hack so devastating that it would be considered a cyber war. And Andy found some very interesting stuff going on in Ukraine at that time and decided to look there. He got to work researching this and was finding the story was just getting deeper and bigger than he expected. He found so much stuff that he decided to not just write a magazine article about it, but instead a whole book.
I've been working on this book, Sandworm.
And wow, that didn't take long at all. There's already talk of a class action lawsuit over T. That's the app that lets women anonymously stalk and dox men. Well, a bunch of data got leaked. We covered that yesterday. And now there's a class action lawsuit on behalf of these women who thought that they were going to spill the tea anonymously. But there's also talk on CNN about any recourse men might have.
Yeah, no, this is bullshit. If the women are allowed to go after them because their information got leaked, the men should be allowed to do the same. Because, granted, the women were, thought it was anonymous when we gave them this information. Well, these guys didn't know you were taking their information and throwing it up on this website, did they? I love how it's an invasion of privacy when it happens to them.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk.
A bitch, and so are you.
We're gonna talk about this. And CNN, unsurprisingly, takes the side of the women who were